So I track the guppy lines that I'm breeding in a number of ways. I used to do it this way. Or when I started, I did it this way, which is just on a Google spreadsheet, and I basically just wrote down where I sourced the guppies from, whether they're male and female. Wherever I got them from is what I named them. So I got a line from Rotherham, a line from Motherwell, a line from Waltham Cross, and the reason this is black is because it's the name of the person I got them off, which I didn't want to put in there. And then all the other information, as you can see, about the individual lines. So that's the way I used to do it. And what I've started to do now is, because I only breed black Muscos, is I keep them on the Facebook page, Black Musco Guppies. And this is pretty much how I started with this line, or these lines. So this is a piece of software called Simple Mind, or Simple Minds on an iPad, and it's a mind mapping tool. So this is the Rotherham line. So this is the line that I took from a breeder in Rotherham. This is the line that I took from a breeder in Motherwell, all from eBay, or from all from eBay, these three lines, and one from Waltham Cross. So the way I present it on here, and the way I manage it on here, is, let's have a look at this one, for example. So from here, I've got the male and female symbols, as you can see, and we've got this chap here and this chap here, two males that I got. There's the date that I got them. BM is Black Moscow, R1 is Rotherham 1, because these aren't F1s or anything yet, these are just ones I've purchased, and I'll explain that in a minute. He's red now because, unfortunately, after about 4 weeks, this guy just deteriorated and died. He had quite bad finnage along the way, and I couldn't treat. I isolated him and treated him, and I still couldn't get him to come round. Whereas his brother, his sibling, is performing really well and healthy as anything. So BM Black Moscow, R1 Rotherham 1, male number 1, number 2 here, and the date that I acquired them. And then if I use them for anything, then I link them, and I'll show you what I mean by that. So along with these two males, I picked up these two lovely females, both of which came pregnant. And as you can see, from those, I picked up, two drops really. So I had drop one from this first female, and that drop now, obviously, there's a lot of fish there. So, on this one, I didn't catch it in time, and I lost a lot of the fry, so I've only got 8 left here. And here I had about 18, and you can see them in the videos on my Facebook page. But I haven't listed out all 18 because I don't think they're at the age now. This first lot is about 6 weeks old, and these are about 3 or 4 weeks old at this stage of this video. And I'm not going to start listing them down and putting them as an individual fish until I know whether I'm going to cull them or not and put them in the mutt tank, or whether I'm going to keep the line. That alarm was just a time lapse that we've got going in the studio. So at the point when I decide whether I'm going to keep them, then I'll number them out, and it might be 3, there might be 5, there might be 1, there might be none if none of the colours come true. Now in here I've got little lines, suggested lines in red, and that's where I think I'm going to pair them off. So for example, if one of the other lines, I think I might pair that one and that one, so it would show it on here as a pairing. Or if I think that one and that one, and I can just play around with it as I see fit. I've not got them paired at the moment. They are both pregnant, but I still don't know the father, so I need to introduce one of my other males now to these two females to use them, because they are quite healthy fish. Second line here, we had a slight problem with this one, in that when I ordered it, it was male and female, and what happened was the breeder ran out of the males. So what I got from him was a female and a load of fry. Now the fry have ended up being 4 really healthy fry, really, 2 males, 2 females, as it's shaped out, and they both look good. One of these males is looking very black, one of them's looking very blue, and both the females are looking quite light, although they are all clearly black Moscows. So I'm going to wait till they're fully grown out, and then I'll work out the pairings, whether I pair them to each of their siblings, or whether I pair them out and cross them out. I don't know yet until I've established this first line, but the crosses are all there ready. if I use them. If I don't use them, then I'll probably find a colour that will push them out. And this third line is the one that I'm most pleased with. So what I like about this software as well, if I hold it down like that, I can move it all around dynamically, or I can hold on just the Waltham Cross and move it as a group. So as this expands out, rather than a spreadsheet which is linear up and down, I can just move it as I need. So on here, I got two, a male and a female, which were classed as full black, so FB, from a Waltham Cross breeder. So it's FB, WC1, male 1 and male 2, female 2. And you can see the icons that move with it, male and female. And she didn't look pregnant when I got her, so I'm leaving her in the tank with him, and they hopefully will give me something. And with him, I'm thinking that I might bring, for example, let me see, maybe these two young ladies here. So actually let's move this one out of the way. I'm thinking that the Waltham Cross line and the Motherwell line should go together there, and see how we go. So I don't know yet. I'm making decisions, and this little system of how we do it, it will get massive. Really, the idea is that everything below this line will be the F1s, which is filial ones, which is the first generation from selected parents. So none of those fish, even the babies here, I can class as my lines, because I've done nothing with them. I've just taken them, and I've literally just started to put them into a breeding colony in one way or another. And a lot of them won't be used. A lot of them, may not be fit enough. The finish might not be good for the ones that I've got to grow out. But everything below this line, and I'll keep showing this developing as I get lines going, will be everything below here will be mine, and that's hopefully I get to the point where I can show some of them. And then over here, I'm just going to do a little bit about inbreeding, which is if you're doing line breeding, where you take the parents, and you get your F1s, which would be down here, and then you have another line here. Oops, I've just generated a new thing that I didn't mean to do. Have another line here that's the same, and then the second generation down, then you would cross them back later on. But I'll do that in another video, because this is just to show how this particular sheet is working at the moment. But that kind of naming convention, certainly once you get into the first generation with the Fs, is quite standard for line breeding. And some of these will just go into colony breeding, so I'll just throw them all into a tank and just, into a tank of fairly good fish, but just see what comes out. That'll probably will be what happens with a lot of these fish. And then the ones that just don't make the grade will go into just a general tank or be sold. But that hopefully gives you an idea of how I map out my fish. And this is available on an iPad. And I've got it on a desktop. I use it for work a lot. I'm a designer, so I use this in work quite a lot. But it's only cheap for a full commercial version. I think it's only 20 odd quid in the UK. So it's well worth having. And hopefully that just shows how I use it.